13-0. And I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not sitting here about to act like I don't understand. And I'm sure realistically a lot of people don't understand I guess the way that the college football even picked their playoff situation. And I've seen a lot of people that was upset that Florida got left out. And of course it was, I guess realistically, was Alabama the only team that was, yeah, there was, well, Texas ain't 13-0 neither. So Texas, for real quick, I guess let me run down, let me do it properly. The 4 teams that got selected for the college football playoffs was, of course, number 1 was Michigan at 13-0. Number 4 was Alabama at 12-1, and they're gonna play each other. And then number 2 was Washington. And don't get me wrong, that was my team, and that was one of my underdog picks because it was just like it seemed like every game I got to catch the bet with Washington, they kind of always was the underdog, even though the fact that they was 13-0. And I think both times, well, I know for a fact I just bet with them, of course, on what was that, Friday when they played what is it? Oregon. When they play Oregon, and of course it's the second time they play Oregon because they in the same conference, and both times they beat Oregon by 3 points. And of course, like I said, they was they was going into that situation as the underdogs. And another reason why I was rooting for them, of course, because the quarterback, black quarterback, and they kind of realistically was hating for him to get the high. Oh, he shouldn't even be in the Heisman conversation. A lot of people were sleeping on him. Not gonna lie, a lot of people were sleeping on him. A lot of people throwing him shade. So the fact that he got into the playoffs, and realistically, I'm sure that's going to help his odds against more for the Heisman candidate, especially him beating out Bo Nix in that Oregon game. So that was a cool one. And I'm not gonna lie, Washington defense is kind of booty. I ain't gonna hold you. Especially after that, watching that Oregon game and then just actually just seeing how, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, dog. This is that last play when Oregon threw the ball, Slim just caught the joint and just ran. And it was just, yeah, that was kind of, I ain't gonna lie. Washington defense kind of suspect. But like I said, a lot of people was mad that Florida didn't get into it. And I did see an old tweet of Shannon Sharps, I think came out or something. He said a clip, and it was like from 2017. And he was just like, basically the college football tournament is basically the Alabama Invitational. And I think that was a lot of people's beef that Alabama, because I think their last game, what they struggled against Auburn, that last minute victory. So a lot of people was kind of feeling some type of way that Florida didn't get it. And I guess Florida will be playing Georgia. They'll play Georgia because of course Georgia just lost. They just they just lost to Alabama. So that realistically, I don't know how to feel. I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how it would play out. I'm one of those people, especially when it comes to gambling. I like to see the underdogs, and if I kind of can if I get familiar through the underdog situation, especially that's how I got with Washington, then that's the kind of the team that I'm going to lead for. So of course, even going into the playoffs, that will be one of the teams that I bet with. It's going to be, it will be Washington. I'm not even going to hold you just because I like that little underdog story, and you don't really get to hear a lot about them. And then real quick, I guess, can we get into some of this, Caleb? And my biggest question would be for a lot of people, especially after watching them lose. Did they lose all of it? Did they go on like a 5-game losing streak or 4? They lost a lot of games towards the end of their season. So my question is, should Caleb Williams still have all that hype going into the draft? And realistically, he hasn't even declared that he was going to go in the draft yet. That's just sports media, almost like they're trying to pressure him into saying, hey, you should be in this draft class. You should go into the draft. And that's just not realistically, that's kind of not where he has leaned to. And then again, my question would be is, dog, if you looking at them NIL payouts, excuse me, they so high. He getting such a bag in college football to make you be like, would I necessarily want to go to rush to the NFL? And the reason why I say that, and when you think about it, is think about how many people they constantly, like, let's use Bryce Young. Is that his name? I'm tripping. The quarterback for the Panthers. I know his last name Young. I'm tripping. I want to say his Bryce Young, but I feel like I'm almost compared because that's Bryce Young. So my bad. For the Carolina Panthers. And you see literally, like, we all know the Carolina Panthers been trash. That's how they got that number 1 draft pick last year. They've been trash. So it's just like, do you sit here and you draft a quarterback and you get so much criticism, or like Justin Fields? Shout out to and if I'm Justin Fields, I'm gonna keep trying to win just to keep making sure that draft pick get lower and lower. But it's even the same, and realistically, I guess, with shout out to the Cardinals, they beat the Steelers today. But we can get into that in a second. But my question is, for some of these quarterbacks, why would I rush to hurry up and go to the NFL? The money probably right now for somebody like, just keep it on Caleb Williams, the money is the same. So why would I rush to try to get that bread, and I can just keep my college money and the critiques ain't as loud? Because just think about how loud the critiques are for Justin Fields and your Bryce Youngs. those critiques get super loud. But if the money is realistically the same, it ain't no dramatic difference, especially for Caleb Williams. What will be my rush to sit here and go to the pros? I don't have one for real. There's no real necessarily need for me to be like, oh, let me go speed and ball. Wow, I don't need that criticism. I'm already getting my M's. What's the point of me geeking and rushing, try to go get it? So it kind of really don't make sense for somebody like Caleb Williams. I think that's something that people need to keep their eyes on. And then especially if I'm one of these teams like the Bears or the Cardinals, for all these teams that kind of been in that conversation, other Caleb Williams all year, you got to be careful because what if I'm especially the Bears, let's talk about Chicago. If you piss Justin Fields off and then Caleb Williams don't come out this year, then what you do? Because now you still stuck with Justin Fields for a whole nother season, and you got him feeling some type of way because y'all kept talking about going to get Caleb Williams. When realistically, for the Chicago Bears, the only conversation they should be having is to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. You cannot sit here and say I'm gonna just keep drafting quarterbacks. And I'm glad that NIL money is hitting so hard for somebody like Caleb Williams, where he can kind of be on the fence where it's like, yeah, I'm cool. I can play one more year in college. Who would run a rush? I'm the man on campus. I'm getting M's. What would be my rush to sit here and say, hey, I want to sit here and go to the NFL and get all this criticism? So that's just something to think about real quick while we talking about college.